Hi, my name is Prarabdh Kashyap. I am working as a data analyst in an automobile parts manufacturing industry, and pivot tables comes really handy in my career and also in a lot of other careers as well, since it plays an essential role in handling data and demonstrating the details about data. So yeah, I believe it plays an essential part for msexcel. So let me take you to the msexcel sheet which I have prepared for this demonstration, and I will show you how this tool is being used. So let's get started. So first of all, you need to open the excel sheet which you need to work on. Secondly, you need to either select manually by clicking cell by cell like this, or you can just do it via control plus a, that is a keyboard shortcut for it. You need to select all the data before applying pivot table. Then you need to click on insert, and then there's a first option called pivot table. So I'm going to click on this, and there is a pop-up here which shows that where do you want this pivot table. So either I can create this pivot table on the existing worksheet, which is uh, here, which our data lies, and or you can select new worksheet. And I believe that new worksheet is much preferable because it segregates the data from pivot table, and it comes really handy. And I'm going to leave this as it is, as new worksheet. I'm going to press OK. So there you go. This is our pivot table, which this is how it looks initially. I'm going to name this worksheet as pivot, just to create this sheet. And this is pivot, this is our data. So what we're going to do is, first of all, let me explain this interface to you. So on the right hand side we have pivot table fields. So basically, this field comprises of all the data headings which we have in our parent data, which is this. This is our primary data. So these are the headings which we have. So in pivot, uh, these headings comes like this, and there are also few options right here. As you can see, this is filters, columns, rows, and values. So what we can do here, we can just drag and drop these things which are required in our pivot table. Let's suppose I need to find out uh, customer ID, how many customers, like I need to find out that what are the customers, uh, these like how many customer IDs are containing how many quantities, right? So if, let's say, I want customer IDs, so this will be my in my rows. If I'll put it in columns, it will be like this. So I'm going to put it in a row because I want it that way. And let's say I want quantity against my customer ID. So I'm gonna take this quantity and put it in the values just like this. So here you can see we get quantity against all the customer IDs, right? So let's suppose I want to apply a filter on it. See, it works just like that. I'm gonna click and drag it to the filters. Let's suppose I want to apply filters via countries. Okay, so I'm gonna click country right here, as it has already applied here. So I'm gonna click it right here. There's an arrow downside. I'm gonna click it right here, and I'm going to select multiple items. Okay, now you can select all, you can select, uh, you can specify a number of countries you want to showcase in your data. Let's say I want, I'm unchecking all, as I don't want all the information to be displayed. Let's suppose I want Australia, Austria, Bavaria, and Brazil, Canada. Let's suppose I want these. I'm going to click OK, and this is done. So these countries are now selected, and our pivot is going to showcase only the data which I have selected for. So uh, let's suppose I only want the data for Australia. Okay, I'm going to press OK. So this is the data for Australia. Our grand total for Australia quantity is 84209. Okay, so that's how our pivot table works. That's a very basic demonstration for pivot table, and of course there are detailed presentation and detailed descriptions for that as well. But yeah, for a basic idea, this is it. Okay, and we can also remove country by just unclicking it. See, it becomes very easy when you are interacting with pivot tables. It can handle a lot of data at the same time, and you can apply filters, you can interact with data. There are a lot of things you can do with pivot table. Also, there's an option that you can do. Uh, let's suppose I don't want to see sum of quantities in my table. Okay, see, this is showcasing the sum of quantities. Okay, that, like, how many quantities this customer ID have, like how many how much quantity, how much the sum of quantity this customer ID contains. So this is the sum of quantity 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 contains. Okay, so let's suppose I don't want sum of quantities. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click here on the sum of quantities right behind the value icon. I'm gonna click on value field settings. So here, from here you can change your preferences accordingly. Like if you don't want to click, if you don't want the sum of quantity, you can click on average, count, max, maximum, minimum, and product, and there are a lot of things over there. So let's suppose I want count of all the quantities that this customer ID contains. Okay, so I'm going to click on count, I'm going to click on OK, and there you go. So there is only one quantity against 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and there are 182 quantities against 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So likewise, the change, you can make changes and alterations according to your need and data preferences. And yeah, so I guess that is it for a basic pivot table explanation. So yeah, thank you so much.